taste it. Rat sticks, bitches on your faces. Gone ape shit, blaze it and take it in. Rat talks with crack, rocks, and gin. Metalheads unite with a grin. Goddamn, man, that's real shit now. So open up your mind to smoke a bowl. A bunch of heads getting stoned, you know how it go. It's the new show on the block. 100% uncut rock top.
Yeah, dude, it's my fucking theme song. Hey, everybody, it's another episode of Rat Talk, and I am pissed. So I'm just gonna get right into it. We're here with owner, operator, founding member, team members of Rockin Vintage. From I know you want to talk into the microphone
Oh
now.
yeah, sorry, I forgot. Yeah.
But hey,
Lord.
usually there's like an explosion, and I play horns and everything to get everybody in the mood. But obviously, that's not happening now. hmm Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can do it just for us here. Oh,
There
yeah.
you go.
See.
That makes it
Mhm.
that feels better, you know.
Yeah, it's more
I-
natural that way.
Yeah.
Shit, dude. See.
I was a little intimidated. With that. Now I feel better. There you go. I can speak now to the mic.
No, but yeah,
Also,
man. This was a really horrible start to an episode, man. I fucking hate this shit. Technical difficulties, but yeah, man. We're here. We're doing it.
there you
How's it
go.
going?
It's going good actually. This is Tito. Sergio is my business partner. That's why I
What
brought
up?
him
What
What up?
up?
here.
There you go. See more sound effects. See. Ah, there it is.
I died.
Ah, sorry, I'm just in a real weird funk right now. I hate starting this way. It's like it
What does that
brings
feel
me
like?
back to the old garage days. But welcome. This is we're here to talk about you. That's what I'm so mad right now. I'm all I can think about is me, but we're here to talk
He
about
missed
you.
himself. He
Okay,
said.
well, Rockin Vintage is the name of your company basically that you started.
Yes.
Is that what you would call it? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, like that was the name that I actually just put in front of me because I didn't want to make it Naomi Vintage. So let's just fucking call it Rocket.
and the business that you're running is a vintage store, obviously. Hence the name, Rockin' Vintage
Yeah,
and everything.
yeah, definitely vintage. We have a little bit of like newer, trendy shit now, but there's a lot of vintage.
But I mean,
Kinda.
just like the history of the company in itself goes back to quite some years now. Because I mean, you
Well,
just opened a store here in 2020, which is formidable at first. Not a lot of businesses are opening up at this time, and as a matter of fact, that's when all this shit was going down.
yeah, it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, but I mean, but you've been able to sustain yourself because you have been a part of the community already for quite
Yeah,
some time.
yeah, def. I've been around doing the same thing. I've been, going, just having a bunch of like pop up shows, but definitely I started Rock Vintage only a year ago. I was collaborated with other people, but this is actually the one thing that I did a project by myself, and it blew up pretty quick. And I opened up a store this year, early February, and we're about to hit February what in like 2 more months. About to
Hmm.
be another fucking year. COVID times. I mean, I went through the first rush of COVID, so now that we're about to go through the second, if I don't make it, I don't know what I'll be able to do right after
Right?
this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, going back to saying that, like you've already been doing it for a while. Like you mentioned,
Yeah,
pop up shops. Like,
yeah. That's how the whole thing just kind of started. I was just doing a bunch of like vintage selling online, and then all of a sudden I was like, all right, well, I don't know what to do, and it's not working. Selling online sucks, and it's hard, and it takes a while to
mhm.
actually make a fucking sale. So I started doing pop-ups at my house, like yard sales, but yard sales with like other small shops, other vendors, and it just grew from there.
So it basically started out as like, yeah, just like a yard sale. Like you
Yeah,
just set up a bunch of
basically.
shit in front of your house, and then people would come by.
Yeah, it was mostly like my older brothers too. They would like pop up with their band shirts, and that's what kind of helped me get a whole bunch of people involved because it was like a different variety of like
Wait,
punk
so I didn't
metal.
realize, like, so you really did like start like that whole movement, at least in this community of like, yeah, like people just going to a spot and just throwing up all of their shit and
I mean,
saying,
it's been happening, but it
yeah,
it it so happened to be that I wanted to do that to like help out other small shops, a lot of vendors
hmm
specifically, because a lot of my friends, um, I like try to encourage to do a small shop, like sell online, sell your stuff, whatever you want to contribute to like my sales. I'd collaborate with you. We could trade, or you can sell me something. I'll just like buy anything off you. It was always like stuff that I can try selling or reselling, and then it just kind of started from there.
Hmm. And then when you start getting involved is basically when she opened up the store, or
More like a little bit after. So she opened up in February. I started coming around like in June.
okay,
Before
okay.
So
that.
that's like
Hmm.
the point of where I'm like COVID was like at its peak, and it's like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah, everything
And
was all
then me
shut
and her
down and
knew each other
everything.
prior to like the
Yeah.
whole vending
Hmm.
world. So like I was a vendor and she was a vendor, and we pretty much just like, hey, we both like,
Oh, so you guys would do like the pop up shops together and
yeah.
Exactly.
shit.
And so
Okay.
that's how we met, and so that's how, like, all right, like, you're a good worker, like, you fucking get it, and pretty much like that. And then we kind of just started working together, and it kind of just like that unspoken, like, we're just kind of here, that kind of like that
Hmm.
click, and then kind of just like promoting. And then pretty much what I do is I do like screen printing, embroidery, and different things for like a brand that I do. And then pretty much we just saw each other's like work and craftsmanship of what we
Hmm.
do, and like what she picks out, and like the details of everything. So it was pretty cool. And then it just kind of just like around June, it kind of just started popping off. And then that was summer peak, and things started getting a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And so then that's when the pop-up started coming in, and we just started like just maximizing like the shop's capabilities. So it was cool.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm going back to like the whole pop up scene and everything because I mean that was I mean because it wasn't just like oh like we're gonna have shops like you've had bands play there and everything so it's
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
like a makeshift swap meet that just kind of yeah like just shows
Exactly.
up.
And like that was a part of the reason why I wanted to have the pop ups, is because I had a lot of friends, or still have. I don't want to say had, but I have a lot of friends that like they play music, and I was playing music at the time. So I definitely wanted to just have shows just so we can
Hmm.
play. So I just get like
Mhm.
a whole system going, friends who have like all the equipment, be like, hey, let's come over here and let's play some of our songs. Like I'd get on drums or I'll play guitar, and then yeah, that's kind of how it started. And then we started booking other friends who know friends, and then I get my brothers on, I get their bands playing, and then eventually it just kind of became like a show. It's like swap meet and bands, like
I mean, okay, so then I guess like the birth of Rockin Vintage was just like finally putting a name to it. Like, I mean, because you said like you were just really helping out a whole bunch of other people while selling
yeah,
you like your own stuff and
yeah,
everything,
exactly.
but like you kind of didn't have like your own brand, I guess.
I never actually had my own brand. I never even wanted to put a face to my like whole
She just needed
scenario.
like a niche,
I
like,
didn't.
like
I
Hmm.
she
didn't
just
even
needed
want to
something.
put like I. People would say, "Let's go to get ready at Naomi's house." Like, Naomi has the closet. Like
Yeah.
Naomi's closet was what it was called, like the first pop
Nice.
up. And I was like, "What the fuck?" Like my friend's like, "I'm
Put
just."
the yeah,
I was
just
like,
putting your name on it.
he's like, "Let's just fucking put your name." And I was like, "Okay," because he's like, "What do you want to call it?" I was like, I don't know, Naomi's
Mhm.
closet." I was
For
like,
real.
"Fuck, I don't know how else to
That's what
put
people are
it."
already saying. I mean, the word on the street is
Yeah.
Naomi's closet is the best closet.
Where'd you get that? Naomi's closet.
Naomi's
I
closet.
knew it. I was gonna pick that
uh,
shit out last time.
shit.
And then I would go out, hang out with my friends, and then someone would compliment their outfit, and then she's like, "Oh, it's Naomi." So I was like, "You don't have
Mhm.
to say it's mine.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, just rock it,
just
dude.
wear it, just rock it."
Okay, so then making that transition from, basically going from out of your closet to actually owning your own store, I mean, like probably really scary,
Oh
like
God, it was.
I mean,
I didn't know what to do.
but
I
also
didn't
kind
want
of
to
like
start.
like a relief at the same time.
No, yeah, definitely a relief. I actually started with Shop Dog Lover, Rocio, my aunt. I don't know, yep, yeah,
Yes, yeah.
Lover. You have
Yeah,
a
I
whole
met
family.
Lucia. Hmm.
So I started with her,
Speak a little
and
bit more into the mic.
we
There you
actually,
go.
sorry, I'm not. I don't like speaking to my. I don't like listening to my own fucking voice. Like I have a
That's me.
problem with like my own voice.
It's
I
okay.
really hear
Other
myself.
people are listening. That's
I
the part.
know,
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay. So I did start with Rocio. She and I actually had a shop together, and we blew up pretty quick. I mean, everyone knows that she's very political. She has a lot of good views, and she's like within the community. So I learned a lot off Rocio. She helped me, speak out like my perspective. And when we had the shop together, I was doing a bunch of advertising marketing while she was doing like everything behind, like speaking to people and like talking, taking, all the doing all the like money or finances stuff. And I learned off her. So eventually we decided to be apart, and I wanted to do my own thing because I had obviously we have two different aesthetics. We're totally different people. And I wanted to go more for like the whole like rock and roll, more punk, more grunge.
Mhm.
And that's kind of how I started what I wanted to start, but it did take a while because I wanted to figure out like what should I call it? Like what do I name it? Like it took me a while to figure out what I wanted to name it, but I stopped thinking so much about it that I was like, fuck it, let's just call it Rockin' Vintage because we're gonna rock it and it's just rockin', like whatever. It just like
I
it
just want
came
to
to
rock, all
me.
right. I just want
Like
to rock with it
I just
on
wanted
and
to
just
like rock and roll. I wanted to play music and I wanted to do this. So I just kind of put those two together and I was like, fuck it, whatever. Like, I don't know how else to put it. It was
Mhm.
like music and selling. Like those are the two
So
things I was doing.
when did the like the vision of like a store actually like when did that start happening? Like when you thought like, oh shit, like I can actually buy or get,
That
open
actually
up a store.
came. Like I wasn't planning on it. It actually came to me like randomly. When I was doing a bunch of shows, it, like the pop ups grew and they grew pretty fast. I would try like doing a flyer like, hey, we're gonna have a show, and then all of a sudden we had 10 vendors wanting to vend, and then we had 20 vendors who wanted to vend, and then it was like 30, and then it was like 40, and I was like, shit, like we need a bigger space. Like
Oh
what do I
man.
do? I can't do this in my fucking backyard anymore. Like how do I do this? And well, the first two were like solid 5 to 10 people, and then it got to like 15, 20, and then I started getting like my brothers involved. My brother did like a flash tattoo party with us, and we had like vendors in the back. We had bands too, and it just grew from there. And then I decided like, fuck, I gotta get a bigger space. So I got this big spot, and it was like a storefront, but they were doing shows in the back. So the back like lot that they had was super big, and that's when I hit up Tito. I was like, Tito, come bend for us.
Yeah.
I was like, come through. He was like, all right, I got you. Comes like the fucking last minute. Can I still
Dude,
come?
yeah, dude. I was like, hey, she's like, you know what? You're gonna have to be in the way back, dude. And I'm like,
Oh
fuck
I
it,
know, I
dude.
say
man.
that.
Because as long as I'm at the show, like like you just see like everybody, just so many vendors. Like you already she said the 30 more, like the 30 people
Mhm.
mark, the 40 people mark. Like where are you gonna put them all? And then
That's
So
crazy that
big.
it even got that
yeah,
big. I didn't
I
even
got
realize it.
stupid big. Like people, I'm like, bro, I haven't seen you since like last year at a different show, and it's like I haven't seen you vending at a different show, and like
Mhm.
it was like a community of just different vendors that like you've seen throughout like just different places. Like I don't know, the vending community is like just weird because it's like everyone's from different places. They all travel. They all do different things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they all make things. They all
they all make
handcraft.
it. They all hustle.
They're
It's
all
just it's a
Mhm.
original.
hustling thing.
That's
So
that was like the fun part, like seeing
yeah,
like people actually bring out stuff that was original that you never seen before. So that was always fun. And then I always try to book not the most like vintage sellers because we're
yeah,
vintage sellers. So I
yeah,
was like, yeah, I don't want any more vintage sellers here.
yeah.
But we book them anyway. I mean, half the time I wouldn't even get to stand in my space. I'd be like running
Okay,
around.
so what's the difference of like, yeah, like vintage seller or like I mean obviously someone's making crafts or anything like that, that's different, but like what like what is there a real like that's a competition between other people who are selling?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
comes down to like
Mhm.
the year it was made, the type of stitching. Like everybody like they touch it, they
Okay.
feel it, they criticize. Like,
Yeah.
what you get this in 2000? You
Really?
got this in 2005? That's not vintage, bro. I'm like, like the definition of by law for you can sell vintage,
Mhm.
it's 7 years. It has to be at least 7 years old for it to be considered vintage or whatever.
Okay.
So there's a whole market like the Y2K, which is like the year 2000,
Yeah.
whatever. And people sell that because that you go back 2010, that's 10 years. That's
Mhm.
2002, that's vintage. That's plus 7 years.
Yeah.
People will look at you weird for selling that instead of 1995 stuff, 80 stuff,
Mhm.
70 stuff, because that's actual vintage. But
Now,
everybody,
I'm not sure. Well, I'm pretty sure this is like a thing in your guys' community, like the heat that vintage sellers get as opposed to like thrift shopping and
yes,
everything.
yes,
Because I mean, I mean uh, that's where it all is pretty much. Like all the old
it's a
stuff that
great
people
line.
get rid of and everything. But I mean, but I'm also one of those people too that does go to a thrift store and hoping to find something that is valuable and then pushing that up, like, yeah, then
But
like
I,
for what
I
it's worth at least.
my argument with that is always that like it takes time for like people like within the community, within like let's say ourselves, to find those items. So the hour it took, the time to curate it, to fix it, sometimes it doesn't have a button on it, to fix that, to
Mhm.
clean it, to make it appropriate for you to buy it, doesn't always cost what we paid for it, but the time and effort, it makes it cost a couple bucks more. We're not selling it for like whatever we buy it for, like triple the max. We sell it for a
Mhm.
decent price of what we would buy it for,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but there is heat where it comes down to like people like, you know what, you're putting these businesses out of business, but at the same time, like I'm the one giving them business, so where are they losing it though? Like if I'm
Yeah.
coming in buying a hundred every couple of days or whatever the number is,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's just
Yeah.
how it is. But that's a lot of
That's
heat.
true. I mean, yeah, really, because you guys are going there and shopping there anyway. You're giving to that community.
Consistently, if you have good stuff, then like we're gonna be your consistent buyers,
Yeah. Yeah.
but when people get it is that we're buying the stuff and selling it for an outrageous price.
Uh.
That's not us. Like we sell it for what we would pay for. Like, you know what, like I would rather like other person to support, I'd buy it for that price,
Mhm.
and that's pretty much what it is. But people do get a lot of heat for putting them out of business, but it comes down to what you really think about it, because you have to also have the knowledge behind it. You have to have the know, like, hey,
Yeah.
this is
yeah.
vintage, this is not. Why isn't it out? You have to just know like the tags, whatever it could be. You have to know that knowledge, just like
Mhm.
anything else. It's work, like you got to put in a hustle kind of thing to it,
Yeah. 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 I see what you're saying. I mean, and not only that. I mean, I can't really imagine that thrift stores and Goodwills and everything are going that, because I mean, people are just dropping shit off over there and like
Dude, they're
seeing,
not
Yeah.
yeah,
bags.
like,
They don't
And it
even know.
really
And
just
if they
depends.
took the time, would put a lot of other people out of business. But if they took the time, they could be doing the exact same thing other people are doing. That's what Depop is created. That's what these
hmm
other businesses have created
Hmm.
to support those type of things. But
yeah.
like they're getting it in the piles and just putting a tag like
hmm
graphic men's t-shirts, $1.99,
It really
whatever,
just depends, like who's tagging and
Yeah, and
what
it really
knowledge do
does.
they know. Like
Oh,
when we
okay.
go shopping, we're like, okay, this is good. This is actually really good. Or this is a not a good price. Like it
hmm
really just depends on who the person is tagging everything. So sometimes they know, and sometimes they just have no idea what the fuck
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
doing.
like someone would
So
actually
it's
take the time to
scary.
look up or
Yeah.
Yeah,
whatever.
like I mean, I Google everything, but I still don't overprice because I'm not like too crazy. I know there's some vintage sellers that come in, they're just like,
hmm
"This is vintage. Why is it only $20?" I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't fucking know. It's $20. Like, just buy it.
I
Like,
don't.
you
Do you
want
want
it?
it?
Do you want
Do you
it
want it
or
or not?
not? Like, don't tell me. I'm gonna fucking take it
Oh, you're
back. And it's
complaining
like,
something is too cheap.
Yeah.
like this is good.
I'll mark it
I
up.
know.
Like,
All
you
right,
want it?
I know. What do you got?
You want to
I
give me
know.
more? Yeah, $20 more. Eh? Let's go. Just fucking buy it and resell it. That's what we all do. The hustle's real, especially right now. Like having
Yeah.
a store and having to go and shop and do everything during COVID time is just so fucked up.
Well,
Cause
I
like,
mean, okay. So getting back to the store too, when you walked in to the, well, how did you find the place first of all?
okay, so I was dating someone that was at the spot that I'm at before I was there. He actually had a motorcycle club thing that they were doing there. My landlord owns a motorcycle shop next door, and that's kind of how I got to the spot. I mean, he ended up telling me that they weren't going to rent the space anymore, so he asked me if I was interested in taking over, and I said, yeah, like sure, I would be down to go check it out. And I did, and I checked it out. I actually went and I saw that there was a bunch of motorcycles in there, and I was like, okay, well, I don't really know who owns the spot or what's going on because they didn't really
Yeah.
give me any information. I just went just to go check it out, and then I went over to the right side and I was like, hey, like I see there's bikes in this spot. I was just wondering if it was for rent. And then the landlord came out and was like, yeah, actually, I'm looking for someone to take over that little space because I don't really need it. I'm just kind of like using it for
Storage.
storage.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, cool. And I was like, well, do you have anyone that's trying to take it or is it available? He's like, yeah, it's available. But I'm actually involved with someone that wants a space, but they haven't really got back to me, but I'll show it to you. And I was like, okay, cool. So I went over into that, his little section because it's actually like connected. So going through his garage where the bikes are into my shop, back door, it's all connected. So I went in there and we talked and he was just asking me like what do I do and how I like wanted to use this, what did I want to use the space for?
Yeah.
And specifically I just wanted to use a space to have like small shop pop-ups. Like I never even
Mhm.
intended to even have a shop like at all. Like nowhere where
Yeah.
it's publicity, because then I have to go to the city and then get occupancy and then
Mhm.
insurance for everything and then like have my business license. And I only had like my permit at the time, so I was like, whatever. Like I'm only gonna use it for storage space to sell online because
Okay.
I
Yeah.
didn't want to leave my stuff at home. Like there's my shop and then there's my personal space, and it was getting kind of crazy. So I was like, I kind of just need a space to have my shop at, but
Mhm.
also, do pop-ups whenever I want to have pop-ups. So
Yeah,
it's kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
like underground, very exclusive. Like I didn't really care to have a walk-in shop, like a vintage shop in general. I was like,
Okay, so explain the layout a little bit. So when you walk in through the front door, it's like a
yeah,
big open space.
yeah. So you walk into the shop. It's a big open space, and then you go farther to the back. There is a smaller room, which is the office space to the left, and then the bathroom to the right, and then there's a hall that keeps going down to the motorcycle shop that is connected, and then on that side it's just a bunch of whatever mechanical stuff, and then there's a door to the back driveway, and then there's a whole like space in the back where we kind of just party. Just kidding, we don't really party, but like this for during COVID we
We
can't even
don't.
party. We don't. But
There are
there's like a
no
whole
secret parties whatsoever. The password is not password.
Yeah.
it's actually password backwards. Yeah, there's this whole driveway like right in the back. That's just there, and we just like use the whole space for whatever we need to. But we only been
But okay,
at
but
when I first.
upon first seeing it, like you're thinking like, oh, this is the perfect spot to have like shit all the way through. Like,
Actually, I was like, fuck, if there's a door in the back and we don't have access to the backyard, we're connected to them. So if anything happens, I have to go through him. I was kind of worried. But
oh,
he
okay,
ended up being like super cool, and he had two people on the line. It was us, well, me, and some other guy that was trying to open up a smoke shop in there. And when I told him my idea, I was like, oh, I just want like a little vintage shop. I just kind of wanted to do, online services, just use a space for storage. But I'm always down to collaborate. I own a lot of like pinup girl clothing, trying to like
oh,
switch
that's what
my
you see. Yeah,
way.
that's what you sold about it. He's like,
I was like, we can collaborate. I can get some girls on your bikes. Like you can bring your bikes out for proud. Let's just see some pictures or
That's
whatever.
fucking smart. That is good
he
business
lo-
right there.
he
That is
loved
good
it.
business.
He was like, oh, okay,
Hey
cool.
man,
So
sex
like,
sells, dude.
he's
Yeah.
like, he was
Sex
like, oh,
sells.
okay, online and bikes and girls. All right, I'll keep you in mind. I just gotta call this guy and let him know that if he doesn't, jump on it, I was just gonna let it go. And I was like, all right, cool. I was like, well,
Sure
we'll
enough.
figure it out. Well, just let me know what's up. And we
Mhm.
talked about, everything, the lease and taking the space, members, whatever. And then eventually, everything turned out good. On my way home, I was like, fuck, he's not gonna call
Yeah.
me back. Like,
Yeah.
he already has a smoke shop involved. Like, the guy's he probably has money. He's gonna fucking
I
buy
mean,
or whatever.
I'm trying to think like what from the landlord's perspective, yeah, like what would bring in the business and everything.
Exactly.
What would bring more eyes there or and whatever and like a smoke shop, yes, for sure. But there's a lot of fucking smoke shops around here, and yeah, if that
Exactly.
It
guy, yeah,
wasn't
if it
like
turns out
a
that that spot's not a good spot,
yeah.
then
And
It
it
wasn't like
worked out.
marijuana.
Yeah.
It was more like cigarettes, like shop. It was
And it
more
definitely
like
Yeah.
worked. It definitely worked out too, because there's like literally barber shops next to us. So like, you do hair, you got to fit, you could go out, type
yeah,
of thing,
yeah.
So it kind of goes with it. So it flows more better than a smoke shop would. If you have a motorcycle shop, a haircut, like a hair salon, a like our store,
yeah,
and another barber shop.
yeah.
So
It's like
it
yeah,
wouldn't flow as well. I
like
feel
some
like.
Instagram model will go get her hair done and then go into your store, buy a nice,
Buy some stuff.
yeah,
Buy
get a good
Yeah.
coincidence
fit,
too,
and then go
know?
next door and be like, oh yeah, motorcycles. Can I take a
Yeah,
picture on one of
yeah.
them?
Yeah. It's always well, we have some bikes in our shop that for props for pictures.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Oh shit.
that's always fun. Yeah. So yeah, we'll definitely
The
get
bike's
something done.
provided by your landlord.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh
Yeah.
shit, that's
Yeah.
fucking awesome. That is super
Yeah.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's we have like
It's a
this
tease
old.
for sure, though. It's like, here, just put this right here, and you're like sitting on it. You're like, can I fit? I'm like, I'm like, dude, $600 more. I'll put this in my garage. You
No,
can't,
no, Jeff. Um, But yeah, we got off topic earlier. We were talking about how I even got into the whole situation from the last pop up that where I met Tito. Well, when Tito and I actually vended together, that whole entire big space that I did jump into, and we had like 40 vendors at. They actually wanted to rent out the storefront to me, and that's when I kind of was like, all right, like sure, like
That was
what?
when the idea
That's
popped
when the
in.
idea kind
Okay.
of
The
like
possibility.
like oh
Yeah.
shit, like this is like this can happen. Like I can do it. I have all these people that they're interested in having here. Like I rented
Could I
out
ask
this
you for another
space.
beer? Real quick?
Yeah, can I get one too? They
Can I get a
actually
cigarette?
wanted
Yeah, yeah,
me
go for it.
to promote shows there. So they were trying to like hire me as a promoter, but actually have me in the front as a storefront.
Yeah.
But it was because they rented out this space that they use as a venue, and
Oh,
that's when the
okay.
idea kind of like clicked, like oh shit, I actually have so many people behind me that are down to just keep having shows. Like why not keep doing that? Why not take use that as my advantage to
Oh shit.
have
Okay.
shows? And then that is how the idea came to me. The landlord that actually had asked me if I wanted to rent out the front space.
Yeah, cigarettes right there.
She was basically like, you can use the front space for whatever you want, and you can have shows here, and you can just do this like weekly thing where it was kind of like a swap meet. But at the time I was like so conflicted. It was like super fast, and it just all sounded too good to me. It was too good to be real, so I was like, I'm just gonna sit on it. I'm just gonna wait it
Okay.
out and see why they want me, figure out why they,
Yeah.
like what
Yeah,
were
yeah,
the
yeah.
reasons. Like it turned out to be like super sketchy. They were living there, and
I
they
was gonna
wanted me
ask
to
that
like
too, actually. Yeah,
yeah, it
like
was like it was just all too many no's. Like there was I mean it was a steal deal. I could have just done it and just took advantage of the whole place, but they relied on me too much, and it was just not me. It was them. It
yeah.
wasn't. It wasn't all mine, and they wanted me to like take
Like
the
they yeah,
front
they had the
space.
name pretty much
Yeah,
and
yeah. So if they had a show, then I had to move all my shit, and I was like, I don't want to
okay.
like have a store where I had to consistently move all my stuff. Like, why
Yeah.
the fuck would I do that? I mean, I want to deck this place out. Like, they're not giving me one piece of the room. I want the whole fucking package. I want this to look fucking sick. Like,
Yeah.
I want to fucking put my art into this. I want to fucking you know
Yeah,
do
yeah.
whatever that's my aesthetic. Like, why
And
don't
then I mean, which you did when you got this place, the
yeah,
place that
no,
you have
yeah.
now.
And then, I mean, it was a blessing in disguise, though. Honestly, if it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't have had all that fucking time to paint the floors black and white. Like, what the fuck? Like, we stood there, like, night to night. I mean, Chris and I stood there
Yeah.
night to night, like, what the fuck am I gonna do? COVID just hit. No one's gonna fucking come. Nobody gives a shit. Not even half my family had gone to the shop. Like, it was so fucking bad.
Yeah.
We were supposed to open in March when I got the place in February,
I mean, well,
and
one thing I
March
could
is
say is that
when
yeah, like the fucking shop looks sick as fuck.
it looks
It
good.
looks fucking cool.
It looks fun. I definitely like walking in, and like I get tired of it
It's
fast.
different every time.
I know I get tired of it so quick that I'm like, we gotta move something. This
I think
is
it
nice.
moves weekly.
It's
weekly, depending on the day and the weather outside.
Like the
Depends.
It
only thing that
changes.
doesn't move is the motorcycle.
Yeah, no, dude, that has wheels. It moves, dude.
Oh
I
my
move like
god!
Everything
Oh
in
my
the
god!
store is movable.
I
You know?
actually told my friend today. I was like, "Hey, come pick up this velvet fucking sofa. I don't want it no more. Like, I
Yeah.
need some space in here." I'm like,
Oh
shit. It's
shit!
like it's just too much. It's getting crowded. I want to get another consignment in here. I gotta move something. I gotta get rid of something. Like, I don't have a garage. I can't bring this shit home. Like, if I bring it, I'm just gonna be sitting in my living room. My sister's
Yeah.
gonna talk shit. Get this
For
shit out of
real.
here. I already tried. Nelson did not like it. He was like, "This shit's ugly. Take it out." He's like, "Oh, it's vintage. Get it out."
Yeah, for real.
It's
Well, I
old.
mean,
Get it
just
out.
going into the design itself. Okay, so you said you painted the floors and everything, but I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of art projects going on inside.
Yeah, definitely during the time when I got the space in February, I was going through a lot, just with the people that I was collaborating in that moment to kind of help me out what I had planned. It didn't fall through how I wanted to fall through, but I mean, whatever it does. Um, I ended up, you know, I had the space for like a month. Chris and I were working on it for a really long time, and then sometime in March. March came around and we were supposed to open like on the 15th or something, right when COVID hit. It was like the 14th where COVID hit, and then
It
we
was
had to
like
go.
March, like the 12th or something like that, or like so they
Talking
shut
to
us.
the mic.
Yeah, it was
It
like
was I'm sorry, it was like March 12th. They shut us down, and
it
she was
was
gonna
like
do like an
quarantine.
opening the
Yeah,
15th or something. So
yeah.
like it was like just all bad
It was
timing.
like
But
psych.
yeah,
Mhm.
It's like psych. You had not opened, and sure enough, oh, it's a twist off. um, I sure enough I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Like, I really didn't have any idea what the hell I was gonna do. So I ended up, I'm in a group message with my whole family. So I was, hitting up my family, the first people that I can actually talk to, and let them know what the hell's going on. I was letting them know that I was gonna keep the space. I was like, I don't really know what the fuck I'm gonna do if there's COVID, and I have to pay rent, like pretty good amount out of my wallet, and not know if I'm gonna be able to make that in that month or even profit. Um, but all of them kind of just like encouraged me to just hold on to the space. Like, all right, well, at first my brother was like, all right, let's make it into tattoo shop. Like, let's try to like
Of course he would
fucking
say,
yeah,
of
like
course he would
let's
say,
try to open
suggest
up a
that.
tattoo shop. Like, we'll figure it out. Like, just hold on to space. It's a good spot. The lawnmower's fucking cool. Like,
Hmm.
we all try to figure out what I can do. And I was like, no, fuck this. Why am I going to keep the space? Why am I going to keep paying this much money and, just sit here all fucking day?
Hmm.
So that was my thoughts. I was going through like this weird mental state where I didn't want the space at all. I was like angry. I was like, fuck this spot. I don't like it. I don't want it. Like, there's no reason that I should be here anymore. And eventually my brothers were, they're all trying to figure out what I can do. And tattooing was the first thing. And I mean, Alhambra's pretty strict. They didn't let us have any tattooing, any shops in the area there. And then my second option was, all right, well, I just paid rent. What do I do? Like, oh, let's just fucking make into an art gallery. Let's charge people to come in and check out the art gallery.
Hmm.
I was like, okay, well, we can try that. And that's when we started making, doing our own murals. We did Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon, and what we did like Betty Boop.
we did Betty Boop on the motorcycle, and then the hymn on the from
Oh yeah,
Powerpuff
Powerpuff
Girls.
Girls.
So
Yeah,
that was pretty
That
cool.
one was sick. I like the Sailor Moon one a lot.
The Sailor Moon one's
I
hard.
like all
Yeah.
of them. They're all pretty cool. One of my good friends did that one too.
It's cool
Um,
to have people come in just for that too, because it's like an eye-catching piece. So like your eyes are constantly wandering within the store, and then you see that it's like a
yeah,
staple piece. So then you take pictures. It's more of a like a reason to come back and a memory of the store. You know, like you
Hmm.
don't leave without like, oh, did you see that
yeah.
freaking
It
Goku?
was kind of hard to even try to make out when we were
And
when
those are
we're
the stores that you do remember going
Yeah.
to, like
yeah,
yeah, like the ones that
exactly.
have like a
Art.
novelty, yeah, like a novelty thing
That's
to them.
yeah, and that's what that was like. Some in before I even thought about doing an art gallery, I was like, well, we got to make it Instagram photogenic because everyone likes to go
Pleasable for
everywhere.
Instagrammers. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
like everyone likes to go and just take pictures. So why not like divide the whole entire wall into like sections of 1940s, 1960s, 1980s, 1990s, or whatever. Try to like make it into that format. But all my brothers are like, yeah, that's fucking gay. Let's just like
Let's just make a
fucking
tattoo shop, all
let's no, not even a
right?
tattoo shop. I mean, it was like I don't want to say gay because I'm pretty gay. That's why they always call me gay. But they
Yeah.
they were just they're all crazy and just wanted
They
it.
had like a different mindset
Yeah,
for
they
it.
were
And
like,
like
Yeah.
she
dude,
had a
you're like
vision, they had a
you like
vision.
anime. Let's put some fucking titties on the wall. Like let's
Yeah.
put some like skateboards and
You said
like
pin up.
you said pin up. Yeah, like I did nothing pin up. There is nothing pin up in there. So my landlords were like, "What the fuck?" You said girls, and they
Hmm.
have no girls. I got fucking Asian girls all over the place. Like, yeah, sorry.
You're giving the
um,
war vets fucking flashbacks and
Yeah.
shit.
Those are the best kind of girls, though. What are you
Mhm.
talking about? But yeah, that's how that happened. I just had a bunch of anime. We wanted to do like Cartoon Network and have
That'd be
just a whole
cool.
bunch of different
Well, I mean,
stuff.
yeah, you did that
Yeah,
with the him.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
then we had classic Betty Boo. I wanted to do. There's so many things I wanted to do. So I couldn't even make up my mind. I was like, fuck it, whatever goes on the wall goes on the wall. Whatever you want to work on, you do it. So we all kind of put everything together. Like obviously my idea was Betty Boo on a motorcycle. That's like the whole like aesthetic where I was trying
Mm-hmm.
to get to, and that all started because I didn't want to have my face in front of the fucking logo. I don't, Naomi's fucking face. I was just like, hey, who no one wants to see my face in the fucking video. But I was like, shit, if it was my face all the time, no one would fucking follow me. Like, what? Fuck her. I'm tired of her face. Like, shit.
Get that fucking face out of here, all right?
Exactly.
So you went with a more appealing face. Is that
Yeah,
what you're
exactly.
saying?
So I went with, well, actually, around Christmas time, my grandma got me a Betty Boo doll, and I took a picture of her, and then I made her my face of Rockin Vintage, and then ever since that, I just always been using her because it worked. I was like, all right, well,
And like the Betty aesthetic has like if you like we like calendar pictures on the wall as well too. Like she changes throughout the thing as well too. She's like a very
Mhm.
like futuristic, the very like 90s, 50s, like vintage, like the jock vibe. You know, she has like
Mhm.
her own categories as well too. So it kind of goes with the store as well too. A bit like we have all this different vintage, different eras, different styles,
Mhm.
and it also kind of just flows in with it. You know,
yeah, I've been seeing like all the
so
newer stuff, all the newer pictures and tattoos that people have been getting of Betty Boot. Like they're
they're
actually,
wild.
it's not
Yeah.
just her face, her face. It's like her whole body that's like different. Her arms,
Different
her
situations
hands,
and
her
everything.
legs,
Yeah.
You
and
know,
her
like a big
outfits.
Betty on like the window, and it's like the goth Betty and the hot Betty, you know? Like so it's pretty
It's like
cool.
Yeah.
Fire Betty and fucking
Yeah, she's like
Kinky
on fire.
Betty.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds fun, dude. Like, honestly, to be able to just go into a spot and be like, I can do whatever the fuck, like, I can do whatever I want with this place. Make it look how I want, whatever I can put
Yeah.
up there.
And I get tired really fast. So I'm
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
we gotta change something. Something needs to move, something needs to be recreated. This could look
Mhm.
better. This looks like shit. What do I do? Like
Right.
I'm always moving that place upside down. Especially when we get someone new. We have about what, like 7 vendors with us now?
7, 8, almost 10 maybe, but like with consignment and like with all the product, it's just like a new variable is a new variable in the store. So we get a new like chair, we get a new couch. The whole store has to move. We get a whole bunch
Yeah.
load of
Mhm.
product, the whole store has to move, you know? So it's cool because it's like it's constantly people are like number one in Alhambra, they're like, we've never had a store like this. People could just come and shop and it has like this type of aesthetic. And then
Mhm.
also where they're just being like a cool place in Alhambra where it's like different. It's not so corporate. It's not so like we're literally around a bunch of car dealerships. Well, so car dealerships are more like pristine, prestigious, like very like
Mhm.
to the dotted line type of thing. And then you have
Yeah.
Rockin Vintage where it's like no fucks given, no rules. Everybody's just welcomed, you know, like all these different artists. We just want to work with everybody. And then it's also like really local. So like behind us is a bunch of like human, well, not human, I don't know. I said like it's like
Aliens. A bunch of
humans, you
aliens.
know.
Yeah, as
It's a
opposed
bu-
to the lizard people that are
yeah,
also there.
besides the lizard people on the left and the humans on the right, you know, no. I meant there's like a community of people behind us in a school, so it's very cool to have like the community behind us, literally, you know, and they come and support a lot. So that's really cool. But yeah, the humans support a lot, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah, no,
Thank you to the humans.
Yeah, thank you.
what really does it though is that we have a big sign right in front of the shop that says sell trade and buy sell
Bye,
trade.
bye, Saltry.
So a lot of people come in just to trade, just to like, all right, well, I got this good shit
Yeah.
and I want to see what you got,
Yeah, yeah.
So they'll come in, they'll like check us out, and then a week later they'll come back, and then we have all this fucking cool stuff like.
Mhm.
Oh shit! Like your stuff is pretty cool, and he's like, oh well, I like some of your stuff. I'm here to cop that jacket that I saw last week. I'm like, oh sorry, it's gone. It's like you took too long. Like sorry, like you should have
Like
came
first come,
last
first
week.
serve,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
but they'll drop off some cool stuff, and a lot of the stuff in our neighborhood or the people in our neighborhoods like skaters or a bunch of skaters who come
Bunch of
in.
skaters because it's like
Yeah, a
it's
bunch of
just it's
band
a main street, you
shirts,
know. So
bunch
people
of
are
Mhm.
just like hauling, just going to where they gotta be, and then they get
And
a
they
good
see
time.
that and they're like, oh shit, like
Yeah,
yeah, a
yeah.
bunch of skater dudes, and especially bikers. We have bikers next door, and then
Mhm.
all the people
They
that
just come support.
all
Yeah.
the people that have cars that Hondas and Toyotas, right, and BMW right in front of us. Like
Mhm.
everyone around there just kind of waiting for the car to get maintenance, and then just like walk in. Oh shit! Like this is dope.
Because it doesn't have the like what it
wow, I didn't
looks like
even
outside.
realize that you guys are right by the dealership, huh?
Yeah,
Like
we're
literally,
like
we're right across the
right.
street from the dealer, the BMW
Mhm.
like the dealership. So it's
Oh
pretty cool to
shit,
Yeah.
have
dude.
that.
Yeah,
We
that
have
that
we have
So that's a ton.
Enterprise right next to us, so people can be renting
Like,
cars
or
all
we're
the
renting a
time.
car right
yeah.
now. We're about to take off. We're just waiting. I'm like, oh, dang, we're about to go. We're gonna go to Vegas right now. Like, oh,
Oh,
dang.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it was a
we're
bit
gonna
like
cash out. Like, come cash out here, look good, and then go to Vegas, bro. You know,
Mhm.
but it's cool that because then also they get a good time in the store and they come back and donate. You know what? Like, when it supports a good cause, we donate to like
Mhm.
yeah,
different
especially
charities.
once we start small
Different,
shops, it's
yeah,
like, oh, it's a
Yeah.
whole like,
yeah.
oh fuck yeah, like I'm gonna support a bunch of like hustlers, a bunch of kids, a bunch of people who are just like trying to make
Mhm.
it. You know, you're not
hmm
fucking trying to.
And in trying
So,
times, you know, people realize and respect that more. That like in trying times, you're still like hustling. You know, like point
Mhm.
per, like you know, you could have like people like, oh yeah, we're doing a store, and they're like, really? In these times, like, and they give you this weird look, you know. But you're just
yeah,
like,
I mean,
when you have people
a lot of
supporting, you
fucking
know, yeah,
stores are going
yeah,
out of fucking business.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
A
And
lot of
it's
Yeah.
stores.
scary. It's scary, and then, but it's also you're very grateful for the people around you, the supporters, the people that are constantly
Mhm.
buying
Yeah,
stuff,
it's
or just
all
like,
because of
hey,
the
what's
follow
new? You
up.
know,
Like,
like,
if it
yeah,
wasn't for the follow up, I don't even think how
yeah,
like we would be making it right now. Like, yeah, we're selling online, and that's what's holding us. But because like we created. I don't like to say I because I couldn't have done it myself. Like, collaborated with so many people, and I have so many people too. Where
hmm
the follow up, where I'm at now, has just it just expanded, blew up so quickly because I put in the work. Like, nothing comes fucking easy. I put in
Mhm.
hard work. Remember we used to have those record fucking gigs just outside my house?
Yeah.
It was
Mhm.
what, just homies of homies. We didn't have any fucking vendors. Like, it was just us bringing your records and just playing, and we're
that's
having a
hard.
fucking
It's really
bonfire.
it's a real yeah, it's a real trip to listen to. I mean, yeah, I I basically grew up with you, so like yeah,
Oh,
like
nice.
me, like going to all those different types of shows and everything, and like and then you started doing your own thing, and it was
Yeah,
like
like
oh shit, like it's really taken off for you. Yeah,
I grew up with it, with that like perspective. Like, I want
yeah,
to do
that
something.
mentality.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
that.
I
Mhm.
That
go to
drive,
shows,
you
I go
know.
to gigs. I'd be like, who's
Mhm.
playing or what's going on, and then I'll just come to my house. Let's just drink. Let's have record parties. Let's fucking
Hard.
have bonfires, and we stay up
Mhm.
all night just fucking listening
It
to
also helped your
music.
brother did tattoos.
Yeah,
it also
that
helped.
too,
Yeah,
that
it
too.
also helped
Yeah,
your brother did tattoos.
But
that
it's
kind of
always
helped
who you
me
know, or
too.
like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like networking, like you just gotta get lucky. So you just gotta know somebody
Mhm.
who knows the right people, and something that they're your family. Fuck it, that's like the easy ticket, you know.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, fuck. My brothers definitely have a big impact on my whole life and perspective and whatever I'm doing now.
Yeah, right.
Especially aesthetically, they're like, ah, no, that looks stupid. Don't do that. I'm like, oh man, like,
Yeah.
that looks cool to me. Nah, fuck that.
For real,
That does
I
not
think
look
everybody
cool.
has that one person, you know, like,
That's all my brothers, all
yeah.
three of them. They all have a different like aesthetic. It's funny. I'm always like, all right,
Dude, your
cool.
brothers are a trip, man.
All
Like,
of them, yeah.
yeah.
They all fucking tattooed, dude. I'm like, why? I was tattooing for a little bit, but I was like,
I know you.
this isn't
Yeah.
me. Like, this is cool. I could draw. I could sit here and fucking draw and do my own artwork,
That's
but
funny.
I can't. No, like I can't. I have way too much other things I need to take care of. I mean, tattooing is fun and it's super fucking hard.
Mhm.
It's not easy. It's really fucking hard.
I
But
mean,
I
that's
had
the
my heart
personality
somewhere
though you
else.
put into the shop, definitely for sure. You know,
Oh
like you,
yeah,
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 yeah. That's
yeah.
you
oh
walk in
yeah.
and you know, like, okay, somebody here knows
It's
somebody that, yeah,
artistic.
yeah,
Someone
somebody
did
here knows
something.
somebody,
Yeah.
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 Hmm.
I mean, every time someone walks in, like, who did the artwork? I was like,
Which
Oh, that guy over
one?
there on the
Which
couch.
one? Yeah.
I'm like my brothers,
Uh-huh.
not me. Don't look at me. I use a projector. I fucking like traced everything. Don't look at me.
I use stencils.
I mean,
But
yeah,
it's definitely
fucking
cool.
stencils
It,
are
yeah.
cool, dude. They're so cool. I
I'm not
appreciate
talking shit.
people who
I'm
still
just
use
like,
stencils.
no,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Oh,
fuck
someone's
yeah.
getting defensive right here.
I'm like, nah, fuck that. I was
She gets up there
fuck all
watching
that
like
digital
stencils on my
shit. It
life,
was like
bro.
stencils. My
I'm a fucking
brother,
stenciler, all right? Banksy for life,
Yeah,
motherfucker.
bro.
right? Fuck yeah, dude. Stencils
Yeah,
are shit.
dude.
I still want to have like some like skateboard shop in that, and everything that I'm doing, I've been trying to get someone to just walk in and start a skateboard company in there with me because
Shit, that'll be a good
I did
yeah, that'll
roller
be
derby. Remember when I did
a
roller
small
derby?
little yeah.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
roller derby for like fuck too long. So it's so big now. It drives me crazy how big roller derby is, or just like the
Is
roller
it?
skating community.
It
I
It's a
it
mean,
bunch of really
definitely
girls.
had like the roller, like the four wheels, like that whole
mhm.
like that roller bounce, like that whole Bow Wow scene type thing. Like
Oh shit.
definitely grew, you know, like at least like in the least like
Two, three
2 years
years,
for sure.
yeah.
Like I know vending, like you always see people like asking. We have like a pair that are just for like the aesthetic. Always without a hundred
Yeah,
percent doubt. Are those for sale? Are those for sale? Like, bro, they're just
every
props. But
time.
like,
They're props. I'm
Mhm.
yeah,
actually
but
supposed to
girls
draw
and
them. I never
anybody
got to.
anybody loves the roller derby, that whole aesthetic. It's come back, you know,
It's big. It's bigger than
because
it
it has a
was
very
when I was.
70s vibe. You know, things come back. So that 70s vibe is very like true to its nature. And you
Yeah,
always had
def.
those like hardcore like 70s disco funk fans. You know, they always want
Mhm.
like the
The Bee Gees.
yeah, like you always have those fans. They're never gonna go away. Just like how anything will never go
Yeah.
away
No,
completely.
for
You're always gonna
sure.
have those true hardcore like fans. You know, like they're
Mhm.
just true
Yeah.
to it. So, but yeah, it's a nice.
Man, I didn't even think about like that actually existing, like a like just a fan of style, you
Yeah,
know,
like
like
they'll
that's
just
just
No,
what
never
they.
it's
stop being like that style. Like you have greasers
Mhm.
that will forever be greaser. That's just there's just
Mhm.
greasers. You know what I mean? There's motorhead, like motorheads, there's metalheads, like that will never ever not go away because that's just true to their like DNA, who they
Mhm.
are. Like how
like
she
I don't
was
even know
saying,
what I
like
am anymore.
yeah,
But
dude, I'm like, oh, like yeah, like how
I'm
people
like,
like
what are
who they
you?
grow
I
up
don't
with,
know.
you
Who
know?
Yeah.
cares?
I
Yeah,
own a fucking shop. That's what I
yeah,
am. I'm a
Whatever
fucking
you want
yeah.
me to be.
Buy my shit.
yeah.
All right. I'm not that aggressive. Just
For real. But yeah, like how she was
whatever looks
saying,
good on you, just take
like how she
it.
was saying, like how you
Just
grow up,
take it.
yeah, for real. But how you grow up with certain people, like those will always like they'll like kind of mold
Yeah,
you to who you are, you know?
that's exactly what helped me start the whole entire like vintage shop is everything that I grew up listening to and everything that I was around. It all inspired me by music. Music is what gave me this aesthetic. I first was listening to like disco, then I was listening to like rock and roll, and then I started listening to metal, and then I started listening to alternative rock, and then it all just like blew up from there. And then with my whole entire family, we're all different. I was listening to basically everything and I can think of, even to, up to Spanish music
Hell
and
yeah.
up to R&B, hip hop, all that. I was into so much that every single time I got through this one phase, I changed. I was wearing Nikes and I was like dressing like Gwen Stefani, and then I
Yep.
was like, oh, I could be David Bowie. Like then I was like listening to Led Zeppelin, and all I ever wanted to do was just wear T-shirts and jackets and dye my hair black. And I was blonde. I was like short blonde for like 5 6 years, and
Dang.
For a
it was
long
like
time.
forever. And then I never ever thought I'd change my hair color, and then one day I went black, and I never went back.
Dang. That's what they
I was
say.
That's what they
like, fuck
say. Yeah.
that.
That's what they say.
Because I was
I
gonna
was
say,
like,
if you do, you have to need a wheelchair or something. I'm just kidding, you
hey,
know? And it's
Hey.
a
hey,
white
not
chick
good,
joke.
not right now,
Yeah. See,
not good times. Yeah, no, definitely music has impacted a lot of the reasons why,
like
like how I,
one of the viewers wants to know what was your roller derby name.
fuck, that I never ever came up with one. I didn't have a username
It was
actually.
Rockin
I
Vintage.
was
Just
gonna
kidding.
say
I didn't. I was like,
little rocker or
Little
something like
rocker.
no,
that. Yeah.
I think they ended up calling me like little Nomi, Nomi, just know me, because
Little know me.
I couldn't come up with one, and I didn't want to. So then I my helmet was painted on by like this homegirl that I skated with as like little Nomi, because I couldn't come up with one. I am not good at coming up with logos or names or anything, so it didn't really work for me.
I mean, yeah, Rockin Vintage.
I know. Hey, it was a hit. It was a fucking hit. I don't take credit for anything, and that's what keeps me humble. I feel like I cannot just sit here and take credit for everything because I fucking suck at that. Like I do a lot for a lot of my friends. I'll say that, but I everything that
Well,
I've
in the
done for
show where you're
myself,
taking all of the credit, the whole the whole
I'm
point
trying to tell you, right?
of you being here and everything, the atmosphere is definitely something that I probably know and appreciate. I mean, I haven't been there personally. I need to go there.
Yeah, I've been trying to get you to get there, and
Yeah.
like,
Well,
yo,
you
come
know,
over
I got a
here.
fucking working car now, and I'll get there eventually.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No, you see it.
I just don't know, cause again, because like the whole COVID thing and everything,
Yeah,
and
it
so I
sucks.
don't
No
know if
one
like
wants to
if you
be there.
already
It's
have
tough, yeah.
you already have like your set people that you're quarantined with. So I really
Yeah,
appreciate
I
you
do
coming down and
actually.
doing this for sure.
Yeah, I know. I was like, should I take my mask off? I'm like,
We'll
should
leave it on.
did you wipe these earphones? Did you, what? Does
Hey
this
man, we
smell
did all
like?
that shit just so
did it.
What
everybody
does it smell
knows.
like?
Yeah,
Precautions.
I washed the little mic condoms. We sanitized
He
the
made me
headphones
sign
and
a
everything.
waiver. He was like,
Mm-hmm.
"When was the last time you got tested?"
Yep, exactly. But yeah, man, like this whole shit, like with everything happening and everything going on, like I can't believe it is very admirable, you know, like
Oh yeah,
yeah, like
it
it
sucks.
is yeah, it is a great story and a great accomplishment, especially during this year. So no matter what, like
Yeah,
that's fucking awesome.
it's definitely a story to tell later on. Like the fact that I got through the first rush, and then hopefully we get through the second rush, and I know we will because I have a stronger team now than I did before.
Yeah.
So I definitely know that we'd get through it again. Um, yeah, and I have no doubts about it. I just fucking hope this COVID situation just like
Well, I
ends
mean,
soon.
so
It's like,
you opened up a shop and everything. You got this whole aside from the drama of just running the business in itself. What else has happened there at the shop? Has anything gone? Have you had to stop any
oh my
robbers,
god,
or I don't know, have you had
that's a whole nother fucking
did you ever have to
story.
I'm
catch
all
anybody
sweating. I'm like, what are we talking
stealing?
about?
I'm like, hold up, I gotta go pee. We'll be right back. Okay, take a break.
All right, yeah, go for it, go for it.
Oh,
You
you're
can
for
start.
real. You were
Yeah,
real about it. I was
Yeah.
actually, I thought she was kidding. I thought I was like, oh,
you
we're
can
taking
start the fucking story. I gotta go pee.
Oh man, I woke
Okay.
up. No, I was kidding.
I woke up, my phone was all blown up, shit was
Dude,
all
look,
crazy.
like low key, kinda. And I'm like, it was just one of those days, you know. It was like a good weekend. We went to the desert to get away from everything, and it was just like nothing could go wrong, you know. And it was just
And then
so
everything did go wrong.
everything went
Yeah,
wrong, you
everything
know.
went
And
wrong.
I feel like it's bad because then like she's had like a bad string of luck ever since then. So she's just
Oh,
holding
okay.
it to that like event, you know. It's like
Well, as I understand, this wasn't the first time either.
this wasn't the first time. It
Yeah,
wasn't the
it
first
wasn't the
time,
first
but
time.
the second time I felt
Personal.
if I felt was more malicious, was
Yeah.
more like predetermined, a little bit more on that
Oh,
side.
okay.
But it did
Wait,
it.
so were you around for the first one, the first incident that happened?
I did. I was.
Okay, you
We
were.
saw the
Yeah.
videos. We're like, what the fuck? And it's like, and, you know, and then it's funny because like ever since then, like you have like that second nature to like every time like the like somebody passes by the front of the store, we're like, who's that? Was
I
it
know.
him? Was it him? Or like that, you know? The same guy, the same color hair. There's like this, whatever, you know. And you kind of get put more on edge, you
Well,
know.
I mean, without giving too much detail, that was just somebody that was like drunk, right?
The
That was
first
just
time was
yeah.
some guy just fucking karate kicking our window, dude. And we had an idea who it was because the video represents like it looks like the same
There, yeah,
silhouette as
like
that
the
guy, you know.
mannerisms and
But
everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
like the same like body figure, everything. We're like, oh, we know that guy. So then like he was riding a bike down and up the street and stuff like that. So we're like, every time we see a bike on a guy, we're like, is that him? You know.
Yeah.
But that's really about it. You
Yeah.
know. So,
We were
but
just talking about.
that was the first time though.
Oh yeah, it's in my fucking room. I can't get it right now. Fuck it. I hate these goddamn breaks. Oh man. Wait, no, come back.
Bro.
Um. Yeah. Sorry.
Naomi, come back.
Right on the floor. Yes, thank you. My room.
So we're talking about the first incident.
Walk in. Yeah, yeah. So the first incident where the guy was karate kicking your window.
Ah, shit. Yeah, that was weird. I feel like that was an accident because of the fact that he was really fucked up in the videos that we were watching. Like he's walking by and he's stumbling all over the place, and he saw this big fucking cool Betty Boop face on the window. And was like, I don't know, trying to masturbate to the fucking wall, and he was just like,
He's like, you talking shit?
he was just like, hey
Sparta
baby,
kicked that shit.
yeah, he was looking into it. I don't know, he like took a you can tell that he took a piss when he was like looking at the window because in the recording you could just see a whole stream of just like a black shadow going down
On the
going
floor
down,
of the
but it's like,
pavement.
yeah, I was watching, I was like, fuck, he straight just took
Oh
a
my
piss in
god.
front of my fucking in front of my fucking door. And I don't know, he just obviously was just fucked up and just decided, oh fuck this girl, I'm gonna break
And
into a window and just slammed into the window.
so as we said, this was the first incident.
Yeah, this is the first incident. This has been it's been a fucking rodeo
Okay,
like
so
this whole entire
I
time.
mean, so somebody smashes your window and everything. Like, what are you thinking as like, so yeah, like a business owner? Like, oh
Well,
fuck.
I mean, like obviously, I wake up to a fucking phone call. Hey, you need to come down here as soon as possible. Someone just broke your fucking window. Excuse me, I had a burp. And I was like, okay, well, fuck, shit. I couldn't even take a shower. I was like, oh fuck. I put my boots on, I put my jacket on. I fucking raced down there. Obviously, my first
Mhm.
worry was, did they break in? Did they steal anything? Is my money there? Because I left money there.
Yeah.
Don't tell anyone. Fuck. So I walk in and everything's there. We have these grills in the back of our window, so you wouldn't be able to break in
Mhm.
technically. They just broke the window. And I get there, I go straight to my money, and it's all there. Everything's back. Everything is normal. And this is a time where there was a small earthquake. I don't know, it was pretty strong, but it was like decent
Mhm.
enough to like drop things and shit like be moved.
Okay.
So yeah, it
So you
was a
walked in there and
lattice
some shit,
one.
yeah, and
Stuff
some
that
shit
was
was,
on the
yeah,
floor, so I figured like shit, like they got in.
yeah.
And I got there and there was nothing that like everything was still there. There was no like things were stolen, everything's
Mhm.
everything's there, but the window was just shattered. One of the smaller window was shattered. Yeah, that was the first incident. The second one was just like straight some fucking.
It was still shocking though. The first one was like random
Yeah, the
because like
first
you're on like
one
a high, you're just building up after all these pot, like you're just going, and it's
you're
like what the
trying, yeah.
hell? Like
It's
Yeah.
like
it kind of
And
everything's
then
just
a
too
big
good.
a
setback,
reality
yeah.
check kind
Yeah.
of thing,
Mhm.
you know? Like
It's like
oh shit.
everything's too good. Let's just like slap them in the wrist real quick. It was like that. It was
Mhm.
like, all right, well, we're building. People are supporting us because we're small shops and we just started, so we needed as much support and help as much as possible. So I was doing like everything, like free giveaways, free shit, come to the shop, donations, I give you whatever you need. Like
Mhm.
I always took care of everyone. I don't think I profit like anything the first fucking 4 or 5 months. I was just doing absolutely everything.
Marketing, pretty much.
I was
Yeah.
living off my unemployment. I was literally like holding this space as much as possible
Yeah.
because I didn't know what the fuck to do. I was like, I fucking signed a fucking lease. The last thing I want to
Mhm.
do is lose it and fuck up everything. And if I would have known any better, I would have fucking got a house. I would have fucking moved out. Like I wouldn't have fucking done this.
Gotten it, yeah.
Like why the fuck am
Bought
I
in a
gonna put?
shop.
I was like, oh, what should I sleep here? Like fuck. Like if there was a shower in the shop, I would be living there. But there's no shower,
Thought about
so yeah,
it.
I thought about it. I thought about it a couple times.
Yeah, bro.
But yeah, no, if I would have known any better, I would have not done it. But it is what it is, and
Definitely.
I have the worst luck ever. So
Well, so that was after the first incident, and then now you have the second incident where.
yeah, the second incident actually happened not too long ago. It was really recent, and yeah, it was the same concept. I woke up one morning. Actually, that was the morning.
'Cause I was
We
like, we
were
had like a good ass
we had
weekend.
a
Like it was like
we actually went out. We went camping for that weekend.
Yeah.
Chris and I were celebrating because we just got our motorcycle license, so we were
Yeah.
celebrating. We were celebrating that
Yeah.
we
He
were
actually
ready to
invited me to
ride.
that.
Yeah, you
oh,
should have
hell
came.
yeah,
Yeah.
It was super
dude.
Yeah.
fun.
You
You
should
would
have
have
Yeah. He
met us
invited
gone,
me to
too.
that.
dude.
I was
Yeah.
expecting to see you, but Angel ended up going. So
Yeah. I would have gone, but I had shit to do the next day.
Next time,
we
bro.
Yeah.
we
Well,
Next
I
went
do. I
one
do. I
day.
do another podcast. I do it on Saturdays. And so yeah, he told me,
Well,
and I was
next
like,
time,
oh
next
well.
time. We're planning on going again, so
Okay.
don't you
do
miss
your
out.
podcast and then zoom out, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, it was fun. I mean, next time I do, I want to go with more people who ride, who know how to ride. It's
Mm.
harder to go with like a half group that don't know how to ride because it's like, all right, well, we
Yeah.
gotta like hang out with you guys, but also we all want to be out in the fucking field. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like I gotta do both, and I just play fair. But
But anyway, that's what
yeah,
you spent the weekend doing.
yeah,
You
we
Yeah,
guys.
spent
yeah.
the
Uh-huh.
weekend riding. We went camping and we took all the dirt bike. Oh, we took dirt bikes and quads, and then um we came back Sunday. I woke up like it was our day off, and then Monday morning we get a call from my landlord, and they're like, "Hey, you need to come down because they broke your window again." And I was like, "Oh fuck, okay, I'll be there right now." And it was like 11 o'clock. I'm like headed to the shop, and I get to the shop, and the front window, like the whole entire front window, is just like completely shattered. And we just got it painted like
Yeah,
happy
as a kid of
holidays.
mine, we just got in like painting. We got like ready for the holiday season. Like we got like this whole like
My homegirl does holiday
yeah, that
paintings,
was
and
pretty
she's
Mhm.
funny.
really fucking good. And she just did a lot right in the front
She
of the
went in on
store.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she got down. She took a whole ass day doing it too. But yeah,
Yeah, that
someone,
sucks. Yeah.
yeah, like someone
That
broke our window, and
sucks.
we're like, fuck, like okay, well, I'll be
Yeah.
there right now. And I got to the shop, and I'm like there. I walk up, and I see the whole entire window. There's a big fucking hole in front of the window, and
Mhm.
I was like, shit, okay. So I go in there, and everything's there because we got these big grills. Like I said, like you can't break in and take anything because you can't get past the
Yeah.
glass. The glass is fucking cheap. Break all the glass all you want. Like it's not expensive. Like fuck the guys who did it. It's not gonna do anything to me. It really isn't. But the grills are there. They're locked. They're heavy duty, and you're not
Yeah.
gonna get
You're not
past
gonna
it.
get in there.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I'm like, all right, well, fuck. But obviously, my landlord's like, again, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm just like, sorry, I don't fucking know. Like, let's figure it out. Let me see. Let's check the cameras. So
Mhm.
we go and check the cameras, and the cameras only record motion. So as I'm watching the cameras, like you can see this car. It looks like a black Honda. It's funny because I have a black Honda, so I was like, it's me. Just kidding, it's not me.
Plot twist.
This is like plot twist. Yeah. So there's like you can see this black car pulling up into the shop, and then takes off, and then
But
he turns
you've seen
around.
the car like
Yeah,
circle
we
the
have
area like a
cameras
couple
like
times.
Mhm.
going both ways on both sides of the street. So
Yeah.
yeah, but like I said, you can only record motion. So
Yeah.
every time a car passes by, it's only recording the car like that passes. Like
Yeah.
this is the car that passes by within like less than an hour, and it's the only car that's passing. This is like at 2:30 in the morning, like
Yeah.
super late,
It's the
but
only yeah,
also
it's the
like
only car going by.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it's
So
being
and
recorded.
like the
Period blank.
less okay, it's like a whole hour of what's going on because of how long it took because
Mhm.
it wasn't long. It was actually fast because it only records motion. So this guy pulls up to the front of the shop and takes off. And then like it doesn't record anything. And like 10 minutes later, comes back again. Doesn't record anything. And then it comes again. And then I was like, all right, this is the car. You
Mhm.
know? So this car comes the last time he came back, he goes into our driveway. And then he pulls out of the driveway, busts the bitch, go back to the other side of the street, and then he's on our other driveway trying to see if there's like a back alley or something, you know, trying to get
Mhm.
back past because we're like in an alley, like in the corner of a block. And he's like trying to see if there's like
A way
a way
around, yeah.
around,
To not
yeah.
like be on the
Or
not to
maybe
like come back
looking like
around,
to
you
see if there's
Mhm.
know? Like
cameras or something, trying to check it out. So obviously this is personal attack as I'm looking at the camera. I was like, all right, well, someone's like trying to fuck with
Yeah,
us.
scoping it out and
Yeah.
everything.
And
And
then there's the third time he comes back around, you can see him pulling up to the shop, stops the car, stops recording. Okay. And then starts recording as car takes off. But during that time, you can see the windows broken. So you can see a car pulling up. Fuck, I shouldn't be saying this online because then they'll know. And then they'll
I
know that
know.
it didn't get caught. You know, like fuck. But we do
still
see,
investigating.
yeah, we still see the car. We see the license plate. We see et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we see the car starts recording, car takes off. But in between that time, you can see that the window is like shattered on the floor.
You
Like
could
you can
literally see
see
like fucking
glass.
bricks.
Yeah, you can
Like
see
you
a
can
Yeah.
see
brick.
like a brick.
So this guy like technically fucking it was a guy. Obviously, I can tell by the silhouette. Anyway, they get off the car really quickly. You can't really see much. Throws the fucking brick, takes off, and then 15 minutes later, because I stood there watching the fucking cameras like all
Mhm.
day, trying to capture everything that I can capture, everything, because I took the whole hard
Well, no, this
drive.
was already all public, right? Like this is like
No, I
We
didn't.
didn't
I
release
didn't
the
post it. I
videos.
didn't
We didn't
release
release like the
anything.
whole
I
thing.
sent
well
the whole hard
the whole
drive.
video. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean,
So I put this whole entire recording on my hard drive, and I sent it to my friend to enhance it because it was so blurry because the cameras were
mhm.
so old. So I haven't got that yet. So haha. So if I catch you, I catch you. I didn't get to catch anything yet, but that happened, and then eventually I saw like 15 minutes later I saw the car coming back one more time just to see what they just to fucking see what they did, you know, kind
Because
of
Mhm.
you
like
always know the
like
criminal always goes back
yeah.
to the
Just
So
yeah,
scene
you know
just to
it's
if
like
they're
like,
not like legit.
so you
Like
know it's a hate or hit. It's like all right,
yeah.
whatever. So on the way back, you can see that the car is coming, and then there's like a random fucking person across the street just looking at the shop,
literally
just literally
across the
standing
street
there.
directly,
Like
just
it starts
watching our
recording because there's
store,
a guy there.
and then the car comes and picks him up, and then he's gone. The same car had been circling like 3 or 4 times.
Mhm.
It came and picked him up, and he was just standing there across the street watching like his work be done, you know. And then it's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
Like
like
some
one
sort
more,
of sick
like one more
yeah,
sociopath.
time.
like
Yeah,
bro, like, we see you across the street though, dude. Like,
Oh
yeah,
shit.
it's so
so
Mhm.
fucked up.
it was
So
like
it's like
that.
a silhouette that we cannot even like put a picture to because, as far as I remember, I haven't had a problem with someone since like what fucking
And then you got mask
fifth
on
grade.
now, you
Like
got all
Yeah.
that stuff, so it
Mhm.
doesn't even help with that. But you
yeah,
get
no,
license plate, you
definitely.
got enhanced video, so we're going from there. But
Well,
it
I
was a
mean,
trip though. It was
It
pretty
yeah.
was so
crazy.
Mhm.
it was pretty random and
It's a reality check.
hard to
Honestly, it's a reality
understand.
check
Mhm.
sometimes.
Yeah, like it's just weird. I mean, as far
Okay,
as
but I
I
mean,
know,
but it hasn't broken you guys though. Like you guys
No,
are
hell
still,
no.
no.
yeah, you
It
guys are
makes you
bouncing back
stronger because
and.
it makes you like, you know what?
Mhm.
Like, we don't want, like, we were talked about it and it was like for her, like, you know, I don't want this to be something that brings me down. Like, let's keep freaking going. Let's keep going and going and going. But it's like a steady pause. Like, all right, you know what? Like, we're to worry about the customers and their safety first and think about that. And
Well,
then we
Mhm.
yeah,
go in. So
yeah.
we give it a break, make sure that everything's okay. And then like we'll go in like a couple days later and then we'll go from there and kind of just
Mhm.
evaluate everything and kind of get it going. But since then, I think we've like put a different gear in and just like, you know what, like fuck it, like
I mean, it
holiday
Mhm.
season's
sucked. I
here,
was
like
definitely upset the
yeah,
first two. I was fucking swooping.
lopsided. You were like
I was like
head over
sweeping the
heels type
glass,
of shit.
crying like Tito. Someone wants to kill me.
Yeah, I'm like bro,
I'm like
chill,
Tito.
chill,
Someone's after me. Tito. I
Man.
should have got my gun license. I should have got my
dude.
motorcycle license. Tito, what do I do? And he was just like, just fucking take a couple days off, dude. And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Took a couple days off,
I
and then
just breathe, see where
and then I
you're at.
came back, and I was like, I got like 100 followers. Everyone wants to hang out. Everyone's asking me what's up, and I was like, okay, all right. You know, like
Yeah. And
bring my
that's
window,
where the
bring my
support
window one
comes
more
in.
time, motherfucker. Bring my
Yeah,
window. Nah, dude, it sucked. I was like,
it
terrible. It
throws
was
you
like,
off
oh, when are you
base.
gonna make a
Mhm.
GoFundMe?
Fuck
I was
yeah.
like, I already fucking made one. Why am I gonna do it again? Like that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
At that point, it was humiliating. At that point, I was like, what the fuck did I do wrong? Like, is this karma?
Mhm.
Like, I was just trying to figure it out. Like, what did I do? Like, I only know that we are so supportive that we help anyone that walks in. At this point, I'm like,
Mhm.
should I even help anyone that walks in? Like, I,
It
it
makes you
makes me
think the way you don't
question
want to think because I have
everything.
to
Yeah.
question everybody to think everybody's motive and then like
Yeah.
even the window girl was like, was it my fault? Is it my hate? Like, bro, like how do you
Yeah,
even
the girl who
know?
painted
Like,
her
it's not
wall,
even you. Like,
she
you
was
don't
Oh
like,
think
I
my
was
good.
god.
causing too much attention. I was like, nah, dude.
Like, bro,
Betty
chill.
Boo's
But
hot.
it
Like,
makes you think of like every single
yeah, dude, I was
possibility for no
scanning. I'm
reason
still
because
Yeah.
of the
scanning.
reality check,
I'm
you know?
always scanning everyone that walks in. I'm like,
Man.
I got like 2 messages, like, oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. And I was like, why are you messaging me? Who the fuck are you? I was like, it was you, huh? And I was
But
like, fuck that.
Who was it, motherfucker?
yeah,
Nah, I mean, whatever.
but
Karma's a bitch. If it happens, it
Yeah.
happens.
yeah.
And like I said, both my brothers, they both have their tattoo shops now, and they're like,
Mhm.
this is only gonna keep happening. Like this is something that you cannot prevent, especially if you're doing something right. You know, if you're doing something right,
Yeah.
then people are gonna hate, and if people are gonna
Yeah.
hate, be prepared. Be prepared always, because this isn't gonna be the first
And
time.
you're only doing something right, like when you have haters, you know, like if you're doing something that somebody else doesn't like, you know, like that's
You
like
wouldn't get
they're always
this
gonna have haters, you
far.
know what I mean? Like any
Yeah.
person, anything, like when people are doing something that like they're against,
Yeah,
they're not gonna
definitely.
they're gonna hate, you know, like it could be music,
Yeah.
it could be anything. They're gonna have people that are just they're just plainly against you, you know.
Yeah,
and
of
that's just
course.
the way it is.
It
Well, I
sucks.
mean, so what's the future like then? What's gonna happen
It's still
next?
going, bro. Like
It's
Yeah.
gonna go, and we
yeah.
have no like,
We have no means of stopping. We have no
yeah,
means of like this diminished our like motivation. It makes you realize that like we have to get stronger as a team, and like it just makes you realize like, hey, like we have each other's backs, and just know that, and like we can just keep pushing forward, and then we just have to have like eyes behind our backs, more like with
Yeah.
like I was saying, like every single person that walks by, like who was that? Okay, you could come in, and it's also just coming at a weird time of like COVID, so you have to already be aware of people. So it's kind of like
yeah, it
you
sucks.
don't want that, but you also kind of need that where like you're like second guessing people kind of thing because it's also like this is your place of business. So it's kind of like it's just wishy washy, like
Yeah.
after the whole aspect of it. But
Well,
it's
I
cool.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's I think that's a pretty good place to end it. I feel like that's a pretty good message.
Yeah.
Always
Yeah,
be vigilant,
Yeah.
be
yeah.
aware.
Yeah.
I was holding
Yeah,
my
well,
guard up now. It's kind of crazy.
Believe in
well,
yourself.
go ahead and plug your stuff and where can we find Rockin Vintage and everything? Where's it all at?
Well, we're in Alhambra City. Make an appointment before you come in though, because I won't let you in.
134.
Well,
Yeah.
where can you make an appointment and everything?
We do have our number in bio, and you can find us on Facebook
And
and
Instagram.
Instagram as Rockin.vintage. There's no G in Rockin, so it's just Rockin.vintage. And just hit us up. I mean, if you just call and then let us know you're coming in, we'll most likely be there.
Be there.
All right.
Also, if you're looking for stickers, embroidery, or screen printing,
We do.
at departed
do it.
underscore co.
There you go.
Nice. All right, guys. Thank you very much for coming in. Thank you everybody that's been listening. This is another episode of Rat Talk, motherfuckers. Usually we end on a song, but fuck, technical difficulties.
We'll add our own
All
song.
right. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Bye.